Hi everyone, welcome to our presentation on U.S. benefits open enrollment for 2019. This is Maureen Gigi. I'm responsible for Comp and Ben across the Americas Geo. On the line with me is the rest of the benefits team, Valerie DeMay, based in our Montreal office, Colin Murphy in Charlotte, Bill Manning in our Seattle area office, Everett, and Linda Fifield as well, who's based here with me in Waltham. So we've got the whole team here. We're really pleased to have you all. We've got a great turnout for this, and we'll get started. I will say, though, if you want to ask any questions as we go along, feel free to type them right in to the questions box in the webinar, and the team will be answering questions as we go along. Our goal is to present till maybe about quarter of the hour so that we have time then to take the more common questions you all are asking and then share them with the broader group. And any questions that you haven't had time to ask during the presentation, you'll still have time to type them in, and the team will answer them for everyone. We are recording the presentation. It will be posted on rewards@3ds.com, both the recording and the slide deck, and that will likely be available to you tomorrow. Okay, with some of the logistics and the housekeeping stuff behind us, we'll jump right in. We'll spend a few minutes just refreshing everybody on our U.S. benefits guiding principles. It really serves the foundation for how we manage benefits year over year and how the plans evolve. We'll share with you the 2019 employee contributions. We've got a really nice story there in terms of how our plans have been performing and what the impact is for both the company and for you in terms of contributing towards the cost of healthcare. And then we'll really spend a fair amount of time in the presentation really focusing on, we've been messaging over the last few years this concept of wellness at 3DS and focusing on 4 key pillars of wellness: health, wealth, life, and career. And really spending time sharing with you what that means to us, what it can mean to you, and ensuring you're taking advantage of all that's available for you along these pillars of health and wellness. And then the crux of it is really, okay, we are at open enrollment. What do you need to do, when, how, and making sure you have all the resources to support you in the process. Okay. So this is something, some of you have been with us for a number of years. We don't necessarily share it every year in our open enrollment presentation, but I think it really has a lot of meaning, in particular this year when I think about where we are with our benefits, again, how the plans have been performing. It really resonates that we continue to ensure we are providing competitive benefits to all of our employees that you continue to value and are sustainable for the company. We continue to benchmark. We receive confirmation on a regular basis, whether it's from the benchmarking we do in the market or new joiners to DS, whether they're joining us as new hires or they join us through acquisition, that we're offering a nice competitive benefit package for meeting employees' needs and the needs of their families. But of course, we continue to be open to making an adjustments as needed. Sometimes those are driven legislatively, other times, again, based on benchmarking and keeping current with the market. We continue to offer you a variety of plans. We have 3 medical plans that all are good plans, all provide the same covered services. We ask employees to really think about how you like to access healthcare in terms of when you pay for the services that you need, whether it's at paycheck or point of service, and our health investment plan, which has been around for a few years, providing employees a newer, interesting model to think about healthcare on a long-term basis and putting money aside for healthcare costs both today and in the future. All of our plans, whether it's the medical plans, dental or vision, all have both in and out of network coverage. We continue to encourage employees to seek their services in network. That's when the rates are the most cost effective. But we do recognize in some cases you may seek care out of network, and we want to make sure that you have that coverage, but understanding it can be to a lesser reimbursement level. But we have very strong partners in Blue Cross, Delta Dental, and VSP. They are the leaders in their respective areas of the market and have very strong networks. Particularly Blue Cross, it's a very, very high percentage of you all just in the normal course of business. I don't want to quote the exact number, but it can be as high as 98% of our employees are getting their coverage in network just because of the strength of Blue Cross across the nation. Again, we have the same, I think, perspective from the market in that the cost of healthcare continues to go up year over year in a dramatic pace with regard to other types of inflation for goods and services. but our plans are performing well. You probably saw in the newsletter, and we'll get into some more details about what that is and why that is. But we really partner with all of you in terms of managing costs long term, that you're thinking carefully about the care you're getting, when you're getting it, where you're getting it, to be thoughtful about the cost of the healthcare, so that longer term we can continue to manage our competitive benefits at this level. The other story that we're going to share with you is we're starting to see this culture of health that we've been creating over the last few years, largely through our partnership with Vitality and our wellness program. But through all of your engagement, we believe employees are increasing their awareness of healthy behaviors and opportunities to pursue, whether it's more physical activity or nutrition, counseling, that sort of thing. And that all benefits all of us longer term. So we want to make sure that we continue to provide those opportunities to you and let you know what's available there. And really at the cornerstone of that is just basic preventative care. We've got some information to share on that as well. So these are the employee contributions on a per paycheck basis. So the first column is the copay plan. There is an increase to this plan. As we messaged in the newsletter, very similar to last year. The employees and their family members that are on this plan, indications are they continue to manage perhaps more complex chronic conditions, high usage of claims, and we continue to see the cost on this plan increasing year over year. Last year, the increase to the employee contributions and to the company's cost was 6%. We share evenly and equally in the cost increases. This year it's 4%, so it's trending lower, which is great and results in lesser increase for employees, but there is an increase to that plan. But that is definitely better than the marketplace, which typically healthcare inflation and what employers are passing along to their employees in terms of increased cost sharing can be anywhere in the 6 to 10%, with particularly prescription drugs pushing the increases up to that higher 10% rate. But the coinsurance and the health investment plan, they continue to run from an overall cost perspective very similarly. Now back, this is the 2017, 2018, and being projected into 2019. So the costs on those plans are remaining the same. And dental and vision as well. Now this is several years where employees' contributions have remained unchanged. Okay, so we wanted to share with you, I don't think we've done too much of this in the past, but you might sort of say, you know, what do you think is happening? And this is a great story for DS and for its employees. What's happening? What's driving this favorable experience? So we have what's called a data warehouse. It's through a third party. We work with Mercer, our benefits consultant, to, in an aggregate form, have all of the claims shared in this warehouse to be able to run different analytics. And this is actually what we receive and what we share with our steering committee when we're talking about our benefit plan designs. And we really have lower inpatient costs, so we are trending in lesser admissions, and then those admissions are lower numbers of days, so that's driving the favorable experience. And then high cost claimants is actually as well a decrease in the number of those and the average cost of high cost claimants. We mentioned last year around the various pharmacy management programs we have in place, where we partner with you and your physicians for certain types of medications to have various prior authorizations and step therapy programs, as well as the generic program that we put in place, encouraging prescriptions to be filled at a generic when those are available. And while our utilization has been steady in terms of the number of prescriptions you and your family members are filling each year, the overall cost is going down for those. Specialty drugs, which are drugs you and your family members may be taking for more complex and chronic conditions, are increasing. But overall, we have favorable prescription drug patterns. And then the last contributor is really around preventative screening. So clearly we can see the indicators are, this is increasing across the board. It is a top area of spend, but this is where companies want to invest, right? Because we know that through the preventative screenings, you have the opportunity to meet with your doctors and sort of get ahead of any conditions that might, over the longer term, become more of an issue or more complex to manage. So that's the good spend, and we thank you and we encourage you to keep having those routine exams. This number I share, I think I shared it last year, and it's the same number. So again, through the analytics, they're able to identify about 2.5 million. So this number didn't change. It was the same number as last year, but it's still a pretty big number. This is what Blue Cross tells us are claims that really can be reduced or even eliminated, because it comes through things that they call modifiable risks. So these are unhealthy body mass index, or BMI, high blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose, etc. So these are the kinds of things that the Vitality Wellness Program is designed to help employees assess where they are, where they're doing well in their health journey and where they may need some help, and then how within the program they can get support to work on some of these areas. So opportunity there for us to continue to reduce and manage claims longer term. Okay, so that's sort of the state of the state, I guess I'd say. So we're going to now jump into the health, wealth, life, and career, and share a little bit with you on each of those areas. So again, I've mentioned how we encourage you to schedule your routine medical checkups and preventative screenings. They are covered at no cost across all of our medical plans. And additionally, through the Vitality platform, you're able to earn points for various screenings, such as mammograms, dental checkups, and flu shots. And some of you in our larger locations are aware that flu shot clinics have started. So it's a nice, easy, convenient way for you to get those flu shots on site. And by doing them on site through a DS-sponsored clinic, you're automatically recorded as having had your flu shot, and your Vitality points will be automatically awarded. If you're not at a site that's having one, or you're not at the location that day, you can obviously have them done in so many places, your doctor's offices, urgent cares, drugstores, there's all kinds of places that will do them. And you'll just upload your proof with Vitality, and the points will be awarded that way. So don't miss out, because that's an easy way to get points. We're going to talk a little bit about telehealth. This is something we've had now for a couple of years. We've been asked by Blue Cross to be part of a pilot. They see the value of telehealth. We have a good long-term relationship with them, and we're going to get an opportunity to benefit from specific communication materials to promote the benefit and how easy it is to use and what employees need to do to sign up. So you might see some mailings home or emails in the coming weeks and months around that. And I've got a slide coming up to give you a little more detail about that. But this is one of those things that we think is a nice value add, a lot of benefits to it. But it's one of the things you want to think about it and download the app or register on your computer in advance. So when the time comes when you need to use it, it'll be easy and accessible. We always take this time to remind you about the fitness and weight loss reimbursement benefit that is available to you with your membership in a Blue Cross medical plan, and there's some changes there that you may have seen in the newsletter. We'll go into those in a little more detail. Routine eye exams. This is one of those things that, maybe your eyesight is okay, so you're not regularly visiting for your eye exam. Again, this is covered at no cost with enrollment in VSP. And, we hear more and more that just through a regular eye exam, the eye doctors are able to detect issues and address them before they may grow into something more serious. So we encourage you to take advantage of that coverage within your VSP benefit as well. And lastly, your dental checkups, no cost, again, in our spirit of we want all preventative care to be at no cost across all of our plans, and that's through Delta Dental. So a couple benefits of having that dental checkup, at least one, two's usually recommended. Not only can you get Vitality points to that, and you simply would upload your explanation of benefits as proof that you had your dental checkup, but you also have the opportunity then to roll over some of your plan maximum that you may not have used in a given year, as long as you can roll over up to $600, as long as your claims were less than $800 in your plan year. So we've talked about this a couple times. It's just a reminder, and it's really in response to some employees were experiencing some years of heavier claims experience, and this is a way to take years where you have just more routine care and other years where you may have more dental work, and be able to smooth that out and carry that plan maximum, or piece of that plan maximum, over year to year to build a bit of a nest egg for future dental care. So lots of reasons to get your at least one cleaning. So I've mentioned telehealth. We do want to let you know that this is automatically provided through enrollment in your Blue Cross medical plan. But we want to mention that there is a new app. This was launched earlier in the year, so maybe a lot of employees hadn't been as keyed into this. So we want to take advantage of having your attention during open enrollment to ask you to download the new app. It's Well Connection. I'll register online at the website here on the screen. The real benefit of this is if a lot of you travel for work or personal travel, and maybe you can't get to a physician's office, or your needs are outside of a regular office hours, or you're at home, home with a sick child, and there's a younger child there at the house, and sometimes it's just not convenient to pack everybody up and go to a doctor's office where there might be even more germs, for different things that could be treated virtually through your computer, smartphone, or tablet. And there's some examples here around sore throat, cold, flu, respiratory, etc. What we really continue to message, and I think you probably heard me last year if you were on the webinar, is we do think that a big benefit of this is the behavioral health component of it. So in addition to seeing a physician, you also have access to social workers, counselors, and psychologists through the telehealth benefit. So if you're just seeking a doctor because you think you or a family member may have an ear infection or a strep throat or something like that, you can just pop on any time and schedule your visit. You might have to be in the queue for a few minutes or not. This doctor's ready and waiting to meet with you virtually. For the other visits, you schedule them, but you can see in advance what social workers or counselors are available and set that time. And maybe it's convenient to do it at home from your couch at 8 o'clock at night. It just makes behavioral health care much more accessible without having to travel to an office and maybe or trying to do that during the working day. So we know this is an area for folks. Life is stressful and people are juggling an awful lot, and this can be beneficial to a lot of folks to have a counselor to speak with. And of course, the costs are really affordable. It's a $15 per visit copay if you're on the copay plan or the co-insurance plan, and then you would pay the cost of the visit up until you meet your deductible if you're on the health investment plan. But the visits are much less than going to a traditional doctor's office for the visit. And then of course, after you meet your deductible, whether it's through telehealth or other kinds of services or prescription medications, you just would pay 10% of the cost. So that visit, if you've met your deductible, would be literally $5.40 for a medical visit, as an example. Okay. So I mentioned that there was some enhancements to some of the wellness incentives through Blue Cross, and that's in the area of the weight loss benefit. So it's $150 per family. So whether you are enrolled in a weight loss program and you could claim the $150, or a family member, but it is a total of $150 for the family. Previously, it was just, it was just traditional Weight Watchers meetings or Weight Watchers at work or hospital-based programs. And I think Blue Cross realized that there's a larger marketplace to provide employee support for weight loss. So the definition has been expanded. This is, again, part of the standard Blue Cross offering. So as long as the weight loss program requires some participation in behavioral or lifestyle counseling with a type of certified health professional, it will now be covered. And there's also the broader definition and flexibility that doesn't just need to be in person, which would have been the case more traditionally with the Weight Watchers meeting or Weight Watchers at work. This counseling can be over the phone or online. So I think it's just great that Blue Cross is really recognizing the advances in technology and the different options that employees have to seek this kind of weight loss support, and opening up the benefit for that. And then we continue to offer the $150 fitness benefit. Again, this is a place where we've asked Blue Cross to expand the definition. It's not just for traditional health club memberships. Again, we want you to be able to claim the benefit for different types of classes. So that's all available to you as well. We just ask you to submit your claim once per year. So if you're taking yoga classes and you're buying, 5 classes at a time at $10 a class, wait till you've got $150 worth to submit for the reimbursement for both fitness and weight loss. And please just remember to do that by March 31st of the following year to claim your benefit for the prior year. And the forms are available on rewards@3ds.com simply by searching in the search bar. Fitness or weight loss will come right up. So very easy. I keep saying to folks, the benefits team kind of scratches their heads a little bit because we don't have a great utilization of this benefit. And an employee was telling me, it's only $150. And I said, only $150. Think about it, 5 minutes to download the form, fill it out, and drop it in the mail. And it's really very easy to do. So if you're just not getting around to it, we'd encourage you to find some time between now and March 31st to ensure you're getting all that you have coming due to you from the wellness incentives in the Blue Cross plan. Okay, so switching over to wealth, this is really focusing on financial resources for today and in the future. So the cornerstone program here, of course, is our 401k plan. So we'd all ask you to ask yourselves, are you contributing at least 8%? That's going to give you the maximum company matching contribution of 4%. And then secondly, have you recently taken advantage of a no-cost financial checkup through our advisors, Arthur J. Gallagher? So Adam Maloro and Kendall Storch are our main points of contact. There's their phone numbers and email addresses. And again, the feedback we get from employees is they end up developing longer-term relationships with either Adam or Kendall. They're checking in at least annually, if not a couple times a year. So just a way to look at, are you on track to meet your savings objectives for the future? And in fairness, like everything, we get busy and maybe you join DS and you select your investment options and then you just sort of kind of forget about it. Some employees are very actively on Fidelity's website and we get good feedback around the amount of usage that they see, the different clicks that our employees are checking their statements, participating in the various webinars that Fidelity offers or playing around with the interactive tools and calculators. But at the same time, we know there's a population that, again, just gets busy and forgets. So this is it. Maybe a little bit early for New Year's resolutions, but if you haven't had a look at your 401k lately, and probably if you haven't, you're going to find some good news because the markets have been certainly strong. But we'd encourage you to take a look at that and ensure your investment lineup is performing as you'd wish and aligned with your savings objectives. Again, the Fidelity site is phenomenal. They've invested a lot in recent years in bringing, again, more content and tools. So if you haven't been out there in a while, we'd suggest that you take a look at that too. So the other thing around planning for your financial resources is thinking about voluntary life, AD&D. This would be addition to the company paid life that we provide at 1.5 times on target earnings and then 1.5 times on target earnings for accidental death and dismemberment insurance as well. So during this open enrollment, starting next week for 2 weeks, you have a chance to reevaluate what, are you taking advantage of any of this today? Does the amount that you have still meet your needs? Are you considering any spouse coverage if you enroll in voluntary life or children coverage? It's all available. And again, we'd ask you every year to take a look at that and revalidate that you've got the right amount of voluntary insurances for life and AD&D. And again, I've referenced the culture of health. The company is really committed to the health and well-being of our employees. And at the center of our wellness program has been our relationship with Vitality. They, provide a very interactive online wellness program, confidential. Some of the feedback we get from some employees is they're a little concerned about putting some of their health information into the Vitality tool. One of the ways we suggest, or Vitality suggests people engage when they start with the program is to complete a Vitality health review, which is, again, a confidential online questionnaire, which then gives some employees indications of where they're doing well and where they may need to focus. Could be something simple as eat more vegetables or reduce the amount of sugar in your diet or perhaps increase your level of activity. So they're very sort of easy to consume suggestions and build a plan to work on. But we always want to reiterate to our employees that DS has no access, nor would we want any access to the information that you put into that questionnaire. That is your private information. In addition to the Vitality Health Review, every year we also encourage as part of the plan that employees consider a biometric screening. This is a simple blood prick or blood draw, depending on your state and how the program is designed, to get at the biometrics. So again, glucose, cholesterol, those types of levels, blood pressure, BMI, waist circumference. There's again other indicators of your health beyond what you answer within the confidential questionnaire. And those, again, are foundations to entering into the program, but we want to remind employees, because we've seen a bit of a drop-off as we entered into our third year of the program, we encourage you to do it every year. And in the Vitality tool and with Quest, who manages the biometric screenings, you can see your progress year over year. So it's just kind of a nice way to track how you're doing. And you earn a lot of points for doing those things, again, as the starting point for the program. And those points can be converted into bucks, whether it's for doing the Vitality Health Review or the biometric screening or engaging in any number of a broad array of activities within the platform. Employees are earning points and they're converting them to bucks. And we just wanted to share in just the first 2 years of the program, we've had employees claim around $100,000 in rewards. So the Amazon gift cards are wildly popular. That's probably the most common thing that people turn their bucks in for. Employees tell us they save them up for the year and they purchase Amazon gift cards as they get into the holiday season to buy gifts for their family members. Thehotels.com is also a pretty popular gift card that people use their bucks for, and we hear stories about, you know, Disney World and weekends in New York City, and it's just, I think, a nice reward for employees, and they can feel that all their hard work paid off when they can then connect it to either a gift they've bought themselves or a family member or a special trip or something like that. There's iTunes gift cards, spa website as well, and then of course you can buy fitness devices. So just a quick reminder, there is a one-time $60 device subsidy that we make available to all employees. Again, it comes with filling out the VHR first, and you can use that, either put it right towards a free Fitbit Flex 2 or Fitbit Zip, or you can use it and then add your own money to buy a more expensive device, or you can wait until you earn points through the Vitality program and put that together with your $60 device subsidy and buy a device. So some of the feedback we've received is people think Vitality is just all about physical activity. It's about wearing a device and getting steps, maybe participating in some of our fitness workout challenges, steps challenges, that kind of thing. And fair enough, you know, that is a cornerstone of the program, and that's one of the easiest things. If you're already wearing a device or you have an Apple Watch, you can easily connect and have your activity tracked and just go about your normal day and start racking up points that you can convert to bucks. But that's just one piece of the program. There's webinars every month that you can listen to and earn points. There's fitness classes that you can take. There's games that you can play every month within the program just for fun. So if you're an active user, you're probably an evangelist and encouraging your coworkers, and we thank you for sharing your successes with the program. And at the same time, we've got a group of folks that maybe have registered and have kind of maybe not been as active, have been away from the program. So we invite you to re-engage and see what you're kind of missing out on with regard to earning points and bucks. We have had just phenomenal wellness wins that our employees have shared in terms of how the program has inspired them, how coworkers have inspired them, and we appreciate their sharing their stories in our newsletter every month. So call out to anyone who'd like to share their story. Again, we do the newsletter every month. If you've missed any of the past newsletters, you can find them out on rewards@3ds.com. I mean, they're really inspirational stories, and we'd love to hear more. And Valerie's our main point of contact, Valerie DeMay, and would love to talk and learn more about your story. At the same time, we're seeking wellness champs. We know some of the locations are just, you know, phenomenally active because they've got a great group of really committed wellness champs. It's, I would say, not an excessive commitment. We meet every month for an hour, and then of course they're planning local challenges throughout the year. But we are particularly seeking champs in the Broomfield office. If any of you are on the line from Broomfield, Dearborn, Royal Oak, and really any of the locations are happy to invite more champs to join. So if it's something that you've been thinking about, either you're thinking about improving your overall health and would like to join us as a champ, please do. And if you're very active and would like to share your wellness journey and help inspire others, we welcome everyone both to register for Vitality, to consider being a champ, and then to share your successes with us. So stay tuned. Every year Vitality tends to have a few new additions to the program. We're as well working on some strategies going forward, and we'll have a full program launch in early January. Okay, just rounding out the life vertical, we again like to encourage employees to consider KGA, the Employee Assistance Program, to help you find solutions for the various challenges of career and life. They can counsel you on a wide array of concerns: legal, financial, child, elder care. And again, we get great feedback on KGA. And as I said, they're available 24 hours a day, which is really helpful as things come out outside of work hours. And then the last two to round out this area, just a reminder, the Hyatt Legal Plan, it's $9 per pay period use. This is a voluntary benefit you can elect only during the open enrollment time, so something to think about if you know for sure you've got upcoming legal costs. For instance, you might be buying or selling a home. I mean, those are what I would almost call no-brainer, because at $9 per pay period, you basically have an attorney on retainer for known legal expenses that might be coming up. Identity theft protection through InfoArmor as well. They're a leading provider in this space. You can enroll in both individual coverage for yourself or for your family members. And both of these programs we get good feedback on, and there's lots of information on our rewards at 3ds.com website or their website to give you more details on how the programs work and what's covered. And lastly, if you haven't registered for PerkSpot, this is the website we use to manage our employee discounts. We get reports from PerkSpot on a regular basis, and based on deals our employees are taking advantage of, they're able to share back that employees are saving tens of thousands of dollars in aggregate through the various discount programs that are available. It's just such a broad array of things that you can take advantage of. But we also are able to leverage this site to share some of the other areas that we have discounts in particular, what we call the Employee Purchase Program. These are customers that have offered to share discounts for their products. These can be cars, cell phone service, appliances. So if you're thinking of any major purchases, go there first. I know several employees stumbled across it and just said, thank goodness, they were buying a car and they saved a significant amount of money, and just were so pleased that they'd mentioned it to an employee who knew about it and directed them to that site to check out the deal and take advantage of it. Okay. And then lastly, career. Again, one of our core values is if we have the passion to learn, we can expand creativity to navigate the future. And I know you get a lot of encouragement around checking out the 3D Experience University for all kinds of certification and learning programs that are linked to your role. We like to put a little plug out for our talent management partners and remind folks about the swimmer certification, people manager certification for team leaders and managers. These are just all really great learning opportunities, particularly just around the swimmer certification, our company fundamentals and strategy, our culture, our values. Whether you're new to DS or you've been with us for a while, it's a great way to just really reinforce and solidify your knowledge in these areas. And then, of course, there's the content catalog, which you'll see. You can click there and search and access just thousands of other opportunities for training. And again, we really appreciate our talent management team and their partnership in our career pillar. They have been generous in hosting webinars every quarter, along with our overall Pathway to Wellness series, where we bring in speakers from representing KGA or Fidelity, different partners that share their knowledge and experience with our employees. And this is a program really kind of exceeded our expectations. Hundreds of you are taking advantage of, and we appreciate, again, your participation in these, and we'll continue to do them based on the great turnout that we have. But that every quarter there is some kind of focus on a career session, and there's one coming up in December, I believe, on networking. You can check out at rewards@3ds.com. We have you're seeing here on the bottom right, we've got 3 tiles running right now. One of them is always the landing page. The second is the pathway to wellness. The third is just specific to open enrollment. So that'll be unique now through the end of the year. But you can click there to register for upcoming ones, and they're all saved on the Life tab, and you can go back and listen to any of them. And also a shout out to a group of our employees who've been working on a mindfulness meditation initiative and introducing our employees to the benefits of that, and their webinars are out there as well. Okay, so in terms of open enrollment, now kind of get to the nuts and bolts of things. Always reminding you that if you don't take any action, your current elections remain in place. And this is great. We call it a passive enrollment. And if what you have today meets your needs for 2019, there's no action to take. Your enrollment in our medical plans, dental, vision, your voluntary life, any of that is all going to roll over. But the big asterisk to that is that if you are contributing to a healthcare or dependent care account to take advantage of tax-free savings for eligible expenses, those do not roll over. You absolutely have to make those elections each and every year. So be mindful of that, because they're really important benefits, and we wouldn't want you to miss out on that. So probably the biggest decision that you make each open enrollment is around your medical plan choice. And I mentioned at the beginning of the session that we have 3 to choose from. Some folks have they've done the math, they've used our medical plan cost comparator, they're really set. I mean, they understand how the 3 plans work, and the one they have met their needs last year and the year before, and they feel will continue to meet their needs. If you have any concerns, maybe you haven't spent a lot of time, you haven't looked at it recently, or our newer health investment plan is not something you're as familiar with, we, like last year, will do a dedicated 1-hour webinar. It's Friday, November 2nd. Again, we'll record it and really go through how the 3 medical plans work, the similarities and differences, and give you some real life examples to help you if you're thinking about changing your medical plan for 2019. We've talked about it's your opportunity to look at optional life and AD&D and the other voluntary benefits we offer. We'll put a plug in for registering for telehealth and vitality if you haven't done that. And lastly, looking at your beneficiaries. In the next slide, we'll show you how and where to do that. But again, we just stress that what you elect for 2019 during this open enrollment stays in effect for all of 19 unless you have a qualifying event, upon which you have 30 days from the date of that event to make those changes. Okay. So can't stress enough the importance of ensuring you have accurate and up-to-date beneficiaries. This goes across your life and AD&D insurances that DS provides at no cost. That's done within the ADP system. We do apologize that there are potentially 3 different places you have to go. Perhaps at some point we'll have the opportunity or the advantage of having this more coordinated. The second place is Fidelity, netbenefits.com, and we've got the path on how to get there to do that. And then lastly, if you are enrolled in the health savings account, the health investment plan, you will automatically have a health savings account with that DS contributes money to each year at the beginning of the year, and then you have the option of contributing contributions throughout the year through your paycheck. You want to be sure that you have a beneficiary assigned for those monies as well. Okay, so the website is all live, refreshed. We have a dedicated site for open enrollment content. This is where you'll find more information about our medical plan options. Again, the medical plan cost estimator if you'd like to run some simulations around your healthcare expenses and which plan may be better for you from a cost standpoint. All of our forms and documents are there. This is an open site. You can get to it anytime. You don't need to be on the network, so family members can access it as well. And you'll see we're really pleased to be welcoming our EXA and No Magic colleagues to the benefits, and there's a special shout out to them on the front page for their specific content. So you continue to make your elections within an ADP system. So if you go in periodically to update your time off, sick time, etc., or view your pay statements, it's the same login, first initial, first name, and then your full last name. If you've forgotten your password, there is a forgot password link or your user ID, and you can also call the Benefit Center anytime to help reset your password. Please just know that we're doing all of this to kind of gear up and get you ready, but the system itself doesn't open until Monday the 29th. That's when you can actually go in under the Benefits tab, select, review, change benefits, and then make your elections or confirm, everything that you have is as you wish for the new year. And your benefit statement, more or less, is right online. So right after you make your elections, you have confirmation right within the tool of what you've elected, and you can ensure you're all set for the new year. So what's coming up? Again, I mentioned flu shot clinics and benefit fairs at the larger sites, so please take advantage of those between, yesterday and November 5th. The call center as well as the enrollment site opens on Monday. We have a 2-week enrollment period. I've mentioned the medical plan overview webinar on November 2nd. You'll receive ID cards by January 1st. Again, but ID cards only if you're changing plans. Your benefits take effect January 1st, and the first payroll in 2019 is January 3rd. So that's a great opportunity to check your deductions, make sure everything's as you expected, and look in early January for information about our wellness program launch for the new year. So before we open it up to questions, just the last slide. Again, this deck will be available on rewards@3ds.com, but this is all of your phone numbers, email addresses, websites, and this great team at the bottom of the chart that I have the pleasure of working with every year, every day throughout the year, there to support you with your needs. We really encourage you to use the People Support Center. That's your first line, and a huge percentage of your questions will be answered directly and quickly. There's people manning that throughout the day, so you get a pretty quick response, but know that if there's anything of a more complex or personal nature, that again, Valerie, Linda, Bill, Colin are all behind the scenes, and those tickets are getting efficiently routed to them to answer your questions that might be of, like I said, a more personal or complex nature. So with that, I can turn it over for questions.
Thanks, Maureen. That was great. Colin, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the presentation. We had quite a few questions come in about the dental plan, and specifically the rollover. So people want to know, is it available only to the employee or the employee's family? What actions do they need to take, if any, to have the rollover happen? Is it automatic? And if you could talk a little bit about that, that would be great.
Sure. Okay, so that rollover feature within our dental plan began when we transitioned over to the Delta Dental plan. Delta Dental really put that program in place to encourage employees and their family members to go in for that at least one annual preventive screening per year. So going in for that cleaning. You do have the ability to have 2 screenings per year or 2 teeth cleanings per year, but they're only requiring you to at least go in for 1 to be eligible, and then have claims of less than $800 for that year. That benefit applies to each person individually that's covered on your plan. So in essence, if one person has claims less than $800 and they've gone in for their cleaning, that person would get that $600 rollover. If 2 people in your family have gone in for that cleaning and had claims of less than $800, they would each have their own additional $600 added to that annual calendar year max of $2,000. So instead of $2,000 going into 2018 or going into 2019, they'd have $2,600. But again, there isn't anything that you need to do other than just going in for your dental cleanings. As long as you do that 1 dental cleaning per year, Delta Dental will take care of automatically adding that $600 to your calendar year maximum.
Perfect, thank you. Then we had some questions around the telehealth benefit. People want to know, does it apply just to the employee or does it apply to the family? And if it does apply to the family, does everybody in the family need to register for the WellConnect
Sure.
database, or can it just be one? And can the telehealth doctors prescribe medicine?
So a few things. We'll start with who should register on the telehealth site, and that should be any adult. And each adult can then register any children that they have, or include any children on their registration. So if it's you and your spouse, you both should register on the telehealth service. So again, first off, the telehealth service is part of the Blue Cross program. So you do have to be enrolled in one of our Blue Cross medical plans in order to have access to the telehealth service. If you are, then any adult on your plan, so that's anybody age 18 or older, if they want to use telehealth services, they would need to register. And then when registering, we would encourage you for each of you to add any children that you have. So whether it's you scheduling a telehealth visit for a child or your spouse, either one of you can do it from your own registration page. But again, the service is available to any participant within the Blue Cross plan or in one of our Blue Cross plans, but any adult is the one that should register.
And can the telehealth doctors prescribe medicine? And do
Yes.
they, or are they able to request testing if needed?
If you're getting testing, then obviously you're going to have to go in for an appointment as well. So that would, in essence, you can have a telehealth visit, but that may need further follow-up, at which point that would be an on-site visit of some sort. But telehealth doctors can prescribe medicine, yes.
Perfect. Then we had a lot of questions around the weight loss benefit and the fitness benefit. I think people aren't sure if it's one benefit or two, if it's 150 for each or 150 for both, and how they go about getting the information to submit for their reimbursement.
Sure. So again, with our weight loss and fitness reimbursement programs, they are part of the Blue Cross medical plan. So you do have to be enrolled in one of our Blue Cross medical programs. If you are, they are two separate benefits. So they're household benefits, meaning as a family, you can get reimbursed up to $150 per year for the fitness reimbursement program, and then separately $150 for the weight loss reimbursement program. The forms for both the fitness and the weight loss reimbursement programs are available out on the rewards at 3ds.com site. They're under the forms and documents. Technically, they're under forms and then medical plans, but there's also a search feature on our rewards at 3ds.com site. So if you just type in fitness or you type in weight loss, I'm fairly certain that one of the first things that'll pop up in the search menu will be those fitness and weight loss reimbursement forms. Both those forms have a description of the services that are covered on them, and they're a simple mail in the form. It's a claim form, so the form gets mailed off to Blue Cross for processing and reimbursement.
So we have a question around voluntary insurance and AD&D insurance. And somebody's wondering if they can enroll at any time, or is it only during open enrollment or a life event?
Sure. So for almost all of the benefits that we're talking about today, and that includes the life and AD&D benefits, open enrollment is your once-a-year opportunity to make changes to your benefits. So if you want optional life or optional AD&D benefits, you do need to enroll during open enrollment. You can't just choose during the middle of the year because a medical condition has come up and now you want life insurance. You don't have that opportunity at any time. The question followed up is a qualifying event. A qualifying event such as getting married or having a child. Perhaps you had benefits through your spouse and your spouse lost their job or their benefits. Those would be examples of qualifying events that do allow you to make changes to your benefits during the course of the year. But you're either enrolling in benefits now or making changes to your benefits now during open enrollment, or you will need some sort of qualifying event to make changes to your benefits during the course of the year.
Okay. Then we had a few questions around the Hyatt Legal plan. What kind of things does Hyatt Legal cover? And is there a contract period that employees need to sign up for?
Okay. So again, I'll start with the second half of that question first. If you do want the Hyatt Legal program, you'd be signing up for open enrollment and you'd be enrolled in that plan for at least the 2019 plan year. And the reason for that is again, you can enroll during open enrollment, but you can't just choose to enroll or disenroll at any point during the course of the year. So at minimum, you'd be enrolled in 2019. At open enrollment of 2020, you'd have the opportunity to drop that program if you wanted to. But if not, then it would automatically continue into 2020. What types of services are covered under the Hyatt Legal program? I would say, generally speaking, most any type of legal service is covered except for criminal cases. So if you have any type of criminal cases, those wouldn't be covered, but most every other service is. Out on the rewards at 3ds.com site, there's a document on the Hyatt Legal program. You can certainly check that out. It's got a full summary of the types of services that are covered. I would say we hear from employees most often that the services that they're taking advantage of are creating wills or trusts for their family. They are buying a new home or refinancing their home, and so an attorney is needed for those types of services. We've had a number of employees that have it, that they sign up specifically because they get speeding tickets probably more often than they should, and they want to have some assistance with either reducing the number of points or hopefully reducing the fees that they have to pay for that speeding ticket. So all that said, there's a number of reasons to sign up, but I would encourage you to go out to the rewards at 3ds.com site to find out if there are types of services that Hyatt Legal is covering that would be of value to you.
And then, Colin, can we talk a little bit about the 401k? How much does DS match, and how does the vesting work?
Sure. So in terms of company match, I'll do a full spiel on this. So you're able to contribute up to 75% of your eligible pay. Your eligible pay consists of your base salary plus any bonuses, commissions, or overtime that you may be eligible for or that you earn. The company is matching 50 cents on the dollar up to the first 8% that you contribute to the plan. So in essence, if you're contributing 8%, the company contribution would be 4%, and that would be the maximum company contribution. So certainly if you contributed more than 8%, you would still get that 4% company match. If you're contributing something less than 4%, less than 8%, the company would be doing less. So if you did like say 6%, the company would be putting in 3%. You have the ability to contribute either pre-tax dollars or Roth after-tax dollars to the 401k plan. What that basically means is if you're contributing pre-tax dollars, you're not paying any taxes now. You're lowering your taxable income here in 2018 or 2019, but you will pay taxes on those contributions and earnings when you retire and pull those funds out. Roth or after-tax dollars into your 401k plan basically means that you are paying taxes now, but when you pull those funds out in retirement, you won't pay taxes at that
time. Okay.
The vesting schedule?
Oh, in terms of the vesting schedule. So we have a 4-year vesting schedule. And basically what that means is once you've been with Dassault Systems for 1 year, you're 25% vested, or you own 25% of what the company has contributed on your behalf. Once you've been here for 2 years, it's 50%, 3 years, 75%. And once you've been with Dassault Systems for 4 years, you're 100% vested, meaning every contribution that the company has made or will make into your 401k plan, you own all of those funds.
Perfect. Are there any changes that we're making to all 3 of the plans or any of the plans regarding specialists, mental health coverage, allergists, et cetera?
Sure. With the 3 medical plans that we offer, there's really no plan design changes for this year.
And does a qualifying event allow you to make changes to all categories or just to one category? So, for example,
I think what that means.
Yeah.
Perhaps what that question may be is, so I'm enrolled in the copay plan at this point, and I have a qualifying event during the course of the year. Can I add or remove members of my family from my copay plan? Which is yes, you can do that, but you don't have the ability mid-year to switch then from the copay plan to, say, the coinsurance or the health investment plan. You'll still stay in the same medical plan, but you have the flexibility to either add or remove dependents from your plan at that time, or drop the plan altogether.
And then we have somebody that wants to learn more about InfoArmor. Where can they go to find out more about that benefit?
Sure. Again, out on our rewards at 3ds.com site, there's an info sheet for InfoArmor and really for all of our benefits. So if you've got some time, we would strongly encourage all of our employees to bookmark the rewards at 3ds.com site. It's a great site. It's got any and all information you'd ever really want to know about our benefits. But in regards to InfoArmor, there's an info sheet out there that'll help you better understand the types of services that are covered under their identity theft protection benefit.
Okay. So we have somebody that wants to know what happens after I succeed the out-of-pocket maximums for my medical coverage, either in-network or out-of-network. Are copays still required? From whom will I receive a refund of the monies paid which exceeded the out-of-pocket maximum?
Sure. So the first half of that question is what happens once you reach that out-of-pocket maximum. And really, a few years ago under the Affordable Care Act, out-of-pocket maximums were defined more clearly to say that is a full definition of any of your out-of-pocket expenses. So once you reach your out-of-pocket maximum and the types of claims, that's your deductibles, your co-insurance, your co-pays, once you reach that out-of-pocket maximum, you are not paying anything else that calendar year. In terms of where you're going to get your reimbursement from, that should be coming back directly from, again, if you reach your out-of-pocket maximum and you had, in essence, over-contributed, those refunds should be coming back to you from presumably your doctor's office or the pharmacy.
So we have a couple of questions around the vision again. Do people get an insurance card for that? And how do doctors know that they're enrolled in VSP?
Sure. So I know this question is coming up specifically because there isn't a specific to you vision card from VSP. We have asked VSP to make a generic ID card that employees can download. Again, we put that out on the rewards.3ds.com site under the forms and documents. So you can download that and certainly take it to the eye doctor with you. But in essence, if you go to an eye doctor's appointment, you can just let them know, A, that you have VSP as your vision provider, and then secondly, they're going to ask what your Social Security number is. With those two pieces of information, they're able to look up in their system to validate that you do have that VSP coverage. So you don't technically need an ID card in order to receive those benefits. You're just letting them know that you have VSP, provide your Social Security number, and that will take care of everything. But if you just feel more comfortable having an ID card, you can certainly print one out and take that with you to your eye doctor appointment.
And do we have time for one more, Colin?
Sure.
One quick one? Okay. Somebody has a child turning 26 in 2019. When will the health insurance end for that child?
Sure. So technically, the technical definition is the benefits will end at the end of the month in which they are last 25. So for example, if you have a child that's turning 26 on April 25th of 2019, they would have benefits through April 30th. After April 30th, your child would be eligible for COBRA. And so COBRA is basically the same benefits that you have today, but they would be signed up as an individual on COBRA. So separate from your active employee benefits, and they'd be responsible for paying the full cost of that medical as well as dental or vision. They'd have the choice of all three. So they have access to the same benefits, but they're no longer covered under your plan. They'd be eligible for coverage under COBRA.
Perfect. So I think we're at 4:02. I know there are many more questions, but we will be able to capture those right and get back to people later on.
And certainly, if you have more questions, you can reach out to the benefits team through the People Support Center. Our People Support Center, as well as our benefits team, are happy to help with any questions you have. And hopefully, if you have any questions that you need answered in order to make your benefit elections, we are here to make sure that you've got the information you need. So please ask any questions you have. You've got really from October 29th to November 9th to make your elections, but you can certainly ask any questions you have before then so that you're ready beginning on October 29th. Maureen, do you have anything that you wanted to add before we close the call today?
No, thank you very much, Colin and Linda, for the questions, and thanks all of you for attending.
Thank you.